Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Brandress podcast. I'm your host, your fellow Arab, along with my co-host Edwin, Quick Select. And today we have on our podcast an impromptu guest that no one saw coming. From the trenches of the gardens, the gnome arises. Daniel KEEMSTAR, one of the most hated, yet maybe most loved men on the internet. He keeps the internet in check. He's survived countless amounts of backstabs from some of his best friends and somehow still prospers. KEEMSTAR, the uncancelable, it seems. It's a pleasure to have you here today, bro.
What an intro.
Yeah, I figured you'd like to be, jabbed a little bit in the beginning. Keem, I'm Arab. I used to work for Scarce, who was obviously one of your number one competitors. I ran his news for, I think, like 3 years before I, started doing my own shit. And, Edwin has a little bit of a...
Yeah, what up? Actually, it's funny. We've had our maybe run-ins on social media before. I'm one of Turner's best friends, Tifu. I'm one of Jack's best friends. Like, I'm at the house all the time. So, I'm sure when there was drama between the parties, I'm sure we've had an interaction or two. But yeah,
So I was bored today and because I have like this window where I have nothing going on. I have stuff going on later today. And people are always asking me to be on podcasts. So I was like, yeah, I don't care how big or small your podcast is. I'm free during this time. Whoever wants me on their podcast, hit me up, right? So you guys responded, you retweeted. Your fans are obviously loyal fans because they were spamming me. So I saw your podcast the most. So I hit you up, and I just find it's funny that I don't really know you guys, but both of you have had beef with me at some point. Like behind the scenes, you're like, oh yeah, do you remember when me and you? I'm like,
yeah.
Here's the thing, man. It comes back down to it. Internet beef is just internet beef, and it's really not that deep. Like, especially when it's somebody like you. You're the TMZ, I'd say, of YouTube, right? Like TMZ is more mainstream, but like of this pop internet culture, like people know you, and obviously you're gonna have drama with people when you're the one who's trying to keep everyone in check. You're the one who's reporting everything. So like it's not that deep. I was just wondering, I don't think it's deep between any of us. We don't hold any grudges and shit.
No, that shit's all in the past, man. And I feel even at the time, like whatever situations we were in, were probably a little bit more exacerbated than they needed to be. You know what I'm saying? Just because of fucking the hype at the time. But
well, the internet can get boring, and I think right now it's a very crucial time for me to start some drama with whoever, whenever, right? These people, they're going through a pandemic. They're stuck in lockdown. They need something to watch. They need something to keep them preoccupied other than the shitty stuff that's going on in the world today. So, I see it kind of as my duty to entertain.
So,
go
ahead. Yeah.
Okay. No, go ahead. You go ahead.
I was just wondering, so you hunt rather than... Obviously, you have a team, right? I'm friends with your team. Your old team member, Chipmunks, is actually subbed to me for 2 years on Twitch. We're homies. So, I know you have a team. You hunt for drama. Obviously, they send you stuff. But like, is there this like taste of blood for it where you feel like it's too fucking dry? It's been 4 hours without drama. Like, you have to start something.
Well, I spend a lot of time on Twitter. I love Twitter, and I'll just see a story pop up. When people say I have a team, I have two people that work for me. And they'll gather news and they'll put stories like in the chat. But to be honest, I usually beat them to it. Like I usually know something's going on before my team even informs me of it because my Twitter all day, my fans are like just spamming me like, this is going on. Did you see this? Did you see that? So I spent a lot of time on Twitter, and Drama Alert back in the day, this is pre-2016, was more of a news show. And I'm talking like just, these are the facts. This happened, this happened, this happened. And after, Leafy, Pyro, Grade, all these people organized this giant backstab to destroy my career, it became very clear to me that I didn't actually have fans, right? Because I wasn't injecting my opinion enough, right?
Right.
You know, I had fans on Twitter, but I didn't have fans on my YouTube channel. So my show quickly changed to the KEEMSTAR show and KEEMSTAR's thoughts and opinions on what's going on in the community. That's why I find it very hilarious. Like there's this clip of XQC saying, you know, KEEMSTAR's a horrible news guy because he can't separate his bias, and you know, facts are different than KEEMSTAR's thoughts. I view my show as my thoughts and my opinions are the facts, right? That is the reality that I believe to be true, and that's what I want to portray out into the community. And you know, if someone disagrees with my opinion, that's awesome, right? That's engagement. That's a conversation. That might be another video of them, you know, saying, I disagree with Keemstar and this is why, right? Which just causes more conversation, which is my ultimate goal, is as much conversation as possible, as much entertainment as possible. And the more people talking, the better, right?
So I had a thought about this. You create a lot of interactions. A lot of them are positive, a lot of them are negative. How do you deal with the negativity you get? Because I feel like the negativity you receive is far more aggressive than other people, other YouTubers. You know what I'm saying? Because they come at you for a lot of different reasons, and I feel like you respond to it really well. And does it ever like get to you? Do you ever get like bummed out by it, or you know what I'm talking about?
Well, I mean, this is kind of hard, but to explain to people to really understand, but the internet is not real. The internet is not real. The influencers are not real. Nothing is real. Everything is fake. Everything is manufactured to a certain level and certain degree, right? When you're seeing, you know, we're on Twitch, and I know the show's on Twitch. When you're seeing a Twitch streamer,
we're not on
you're
Twitch.
not. Where is this?
The show's pre-recorded on YouTube.
Oh, it's on YouTube. Okay.
We literally do it not on Twitch for the reason that we are both Twitch streamers and we don't want to get banned on Twitch. So you can talk about whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
I would assume that a big majority of your fans are Twitch fans, right?
Right.
And YouTube fans. I guess.
Yeah.
Together. Regardless, when you're looking at an influencer online, whether it be a YouTube video or a Twitch stream, you're not looking at a real person. You're looking at, you know, a character, right? And even if you see someone that is trying their hardest to be authentic and give their real opinions, I mean, just the Twitch rules and the YouTube rules are literally stopping them from saying certain things and doing certain things. So you're never gonna be on the internet and see base reality. It's just impossible. I forgot you asked me about the hate and stuff I get. So if you can have that basic understanding that the internet isn't real, then I mean, hate and stuff you get shouldn't bother you at all. I mean, that's not real.
So on that note, how close are you to being the base real version of you online? Because you said everyone's a character, so does that mean you're a character as well? And how much? Oh my
God, I'm pretty far apart. I'm pretty far apart from really me.
Well, so the question here is, you spend so much time online. Is the time that you don't spend online, is that really you? Or because like me personally, I spend 12 hours streaming, right? Or whatever, making content. And, you know, I could say it's really me when I tone it down and I don't have to talk to people for 12 hours. You know, I'm taking a break. I'm relaxing afterwards. Like I could say that's really me, but that's me for an hour and a half after being exhausted. So like, what is that? Which one is really you?
I think when I'm off the internet and, you know, I'm hanging out with my family or hanging out with my friends, I think that's who you are, right?
Right. Fair point.
So
how often do you get to do that?
Would you agree that you guys are different, people?
100%.
Oh my God, dude! Just like what you said, that you have to be because of TOS, which was another thing I wanted to roll into, which is So I was having a conversation in my chat the other day, which is about the box that Twitch is trying to put people in, and even YouTube, because like certain content on YouTube gets demonetized immediately, like a lot of content and stuff. It generates millions of views and gets demonetized. But
David Dobrik even
$0. Yeah, exactly. And so my question with you. So I was telling my chat, I was like, I think that Twitch is going to be a platform where people are going to complain about this and that. And then one day they're just going to be like, listen, these are the rules. If you want to exist on our platform, you have to follow them. And that's it. And that's kind of like, how do you feel about that? Do you think that's fair? Do you think that's fucked up? Like,
I think the platforms, and all industries are being radicalized by colleges. If you notice
liberal media.
Yeah. People that are in positions of employment at YouTube and at Twitch, I mean, they had to go to college, right?
Right.
And colleges around the country are getting really far left, right?
Right.
Whether you agree with those politics or not. So what you're seeing, in my opinion, is you're seeing a rule set that is based on the far left, right? But this platform with these far left rules has to entertain everybody from the whole spectrum, right? So there's going to be a clash, right? It's not gonna work work well together, because it is like an extreme viewpoint, in my opinion. It's not, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, all that, they should try to be politically center as much as possible, and they should make rules being politically centered much as possible, because that way it's equal and it's fair, and it gives the customers and the consumers out there a fair chance, and we're just not seeing that.
Do you think it's a political standpoint, or do you think it's more of a capitalistic, if we don't do this, we're not going to get brands to sponsor our website, therefore we cannot grow type of situation? Because I think that's kind of like the is it like an ethical reason they're doing it, or like a brand money motivation reason they're doing it? We call this the Brand Risk Podcast because me and Arab really don't believe in cancel culture. Since the beginning of our friendship, since the beginning of our ideals, it's like, canceled for fucking what? Like you said, all this shit is made up. How do you cancel a human? You know what I'm saying?
Like, how many years have people trying to pin Alex on you? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
right. Okay. So
when are you gonna get over that? Like,
that's a perfect example. All right. So how long ago was it? 12 years ago, I was on the internet, and someone said something racist to me, and I said something racist back. All right. 100% in the wrong, should be canceled for that. 100%.
Should you?
Well, yeah, I think so.
What's canceled?
I think so.
What's canceled? Like,
well,
because it's a different time. Like, it's okay to look back now, because we all grew up on Modern Warfare 2, right? We've all played that. We've all said shit in lobbies before. Do we say it nowadays? No. Like, it's something that we've learned to be like, all right, this is aggressive. Like, this is.
Well, I mean, at some point, everyone deserves a second chance. Like Logan Paul, for example, right? He did the thing with the suicide forest. He went through hell and back, but at some point you deserve a second chance. I believe I deserve a second chance. I haven't repeated that behavior, right? But in the moment, let's say I had sponsors, and let's say, I did this on youtube.com, right? I think my channel should be, or that video should at least get a strike. I think I should potentially lose sponsors over that. Like, I think that is fair game. But what's strange is we are no longer, the field goal on what a person is getting canceled for keeps getting pushed farther and farther and farther, to the point where Katerina, for example, what was her crime?
That was a girl that cheated on her boyfriends, right?
Well, yeah, but what was her crime, right? She was just sleeping with other people, right?
Right.
She lost sponsors. She got kicked from her team. Like, the field goal just keeps on getting pushed farther and farther and farther and farther and farther. And, I feel like we're going to get to a point where the internet is just no longer fun.
So It's a very good point. My question is, how long do you think till that breaks? Where people get
Great
sick of
question.
it and it resets? Like we can't, where even the far left can't deal with the far left anymore. You know?
I think soon. I think, well, you just saw it. Like, Twitch came out with this new rule that you can't call people simps, right?
Incel or virgin either, yeah.
Right. And they thought that would play over well, right? They thought,
They doubled down on it as well the next
yeah,
day.
they really thought that would play well throughout the community because, I would assume, now I don't know if this is true, but like this is from the outside looking in, having no information on this at all, just taking a wild guess, all right? Who is affected by the term cells? Or excuse me, simps. I would say like streamers like Pokimane, right? Like her fans are being called simps and being attacked. And if they donate or support her, they're being called simps. So I would assume, and this is just guessing with no proof whatsoever, that someone like Pokimane went to Twitch saying, hey, look, can we ban these rules, right?
Really?
This is affecting my bottom line, right? Wouldn't you think
I
that
think
some type of streamer...
I would think the reason it happened was because Twitch staff, I mean, they're, very diverse, I guess. Let me use my words here because I don't want to. They're very diverse, colored hair, different opinions. And, they might
went
be.
To college.
Went to college. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think they have. I don't think it affects Pokemon's bottom line. I think it helps her. That whole culture of like people donate. I mean, she even raised her like minimum donation or something. She makes so much money. Like the only thing that affects her bottom line is she ends up dating somebody. To be honest.
Well, I can say for a fact that she does not like her fans being called simps. And I think like some streamer like that went to Twitch, and I think Twitch was like, you know what, you're right. We should have a rule in place, and everyone will agree with us. And they really believe that their ideology and this extreme left ideology will play well every time. They just think everyone's going to agree with them because that's their base reality, right? Or whatever. Right. And then it's a nightmare because it's not. You have to be centered. All platforms have to be centered. They have to find that middle ground, and that's where the rules need to be.
I feel like they're a little out of touch somehow. And it's amazing that they are so out of touch. Like, I made a joke about it on Twitter. They tweeted out the other day about the N-word, and they said that they had a lot of questions about the N-word. And they said that the use of the N-word is banned across the platform with the use of a hard R.
They literally wrote that out loud.
They wrote out the word hard R in a tweet, the official Twitter account. And I thought that was so funny to me. And I was like, so this $100 million plus company just had one of their interns write out the word hard R in a tweet to explain something, and that cracked me up. And I said, oh, so this means two things. One, that intern is getting fired, and two, I can say the N-word with a soft A as long as it's not malicious. That's literally what they just said.
They have to allow the N-word with a soft A because, I mean, you got like straight up rappers on Twitch, right? You're not going to ban Lil Yachty for saying a soft A. You're just not, right? That would be so horrible for Twitch. And there are different rule sets, even on YouTube, for rap artists than there are for just normal YouTubers, right? We saw it. A prime example was Belle Delphine got her entire channel banned, and
I saw that.
WAP, right? Or WAP, or however you say it, WAP. I mean, that video was #1 on trending. I mean, these videos were identical in how much sexuality they showed in them. So, everyone understands on these platforms that rap music breaks all the terms of service in so many different ways. And rap music is very popular, and it is a mainstream thing. And I would argue that rap music is the most popular music right now, right?
For sure.
You know, I'm sure if you looked at sales numbers, country music would beat rap, and that's only because those guys are still buying CDs, right? but I would say that rap music is the mainstream, so these platforms have to have a completely different rule set for stuff that would normally break TOS, and I think that's why Twitch put out that tweet.
So
True. I think they
ahead.
create a weird gray area by doing that. But I agree. I think that's probably why they do it. What are you saying, Arab?
So my question is, you know, that you've basically talked about, you know, people getting canceled, blah blah whatnot, people deserving a second chance. Why? So are you okay with people doing the first offense, because you've been there before, you've done that first offense, but I still see you sometimes going and actively trying to, I guess you're reporting it, but it seems like cancel-y as well, where, you know, if somebody does something, you, not all the time do you go, have they done this before? Like, is this a second chance?
I mean, I started off my YouTube career making trolling videos, right? In gaming entertainment. So there are videos of me saying just horrible stuff, right?
Right.
And, you know, throughout the years. And so when I talk about someone else being exposed for doing stuff, you know, it's never really personal. It's more of just like reporting the news or whatnot. But I always get hit with like, well, you're a hypocrite because you did. Look, do you want me to try to say what I did back then was right? Because it wasn't. It was wrong, and I knew it was wrong. And a lot of that stuff, like the Alex clip, for example, dude, that's like the most embarrassing thing I've ever done in my life. And you know, and
I'm not asking to say like fuck you, you're a hypocrite. I'm asking to see what the difference is. Where why do you deserve that second chance, but we don't give that to other people that are, you know, making their first offense?
I think the people really pick who gets a second chance or not, right?
So you light the fire and just throw it in the crowd and let them decide.
Yeah, I mean, I tweet out something, it gets like a response, right? I upload a video, it gets a response. I, you know, have been through hell and back, but I still maintain views. So I think there's a lot of people out there that don't really care that Keemstar is a bad guy. They want Keemstar to be a bad guy. You know,
the internet needs a villain.
Well,
is Daniel a bad guy?
I don't know. I try to be a good guy.
Fair point. Does speaking of Daniel, does the hate online affect your family at all? Is your girlfriend ever worried about like the fear that it might, you know, like the hate that it might bring, where if somebody makes it real, you know, like a not a swatter, but you know, maybe even worse, people at events or something?
They don't really pay attention to what I do too much online. Yeah. No, they're happy. I mean, they live in a very nice house. They got Versace robes for Christmas. They're happy. We bought brand new snowmobiles, right?
That you crashed already.
Well, I put one in the ditch, but I pulled it out with my side by side with the winch.
Hey, unrelated, but I've been seeing this on my Twitter feed lately, and it cracks me up. Your interactions with fucking Perez Hilton, bro. That shit has me dying. I read those entire threads and I just crack the fuck up because he is actually absolutely delusional. 110%. It's hard to even like, how the fuck does he think he's right?
For the audience, I know a lot of you are like probably saying to yourself, who is Perez Hilton? So I'm almost 40 years old. All right. When I was younger, Perez Hilton was like a mainstream name. He was like Drama Alert before there was even an internet, right? He had this website when the internet was real small, and he would cover, you know, celebrity gossip and drama and stuff. And he got so popular that they would like put him on MTV and they would put him on these shows. But over the last like 10 years, he doesn't have a presence anymore. He's still doing the same thing, but like he'll upload a YouTube video and talk about some drama or whatever, and he'll get literally 1,000 views.
Right.
He'll put out a tweet and he'll get like 7 likes. And for some reason, he's been going on this tangent that he is more popular than me, like in 2020. And so his basis of his argument is that he is on TV. But like, I don't know if anybody knows this. Have you ever looked at TV ratings? Like there will be a reality television show that's somewhat popular on TV and it's polling 50,000 views. Yeah, I do that in like 3 minutes when I upload a drama alert.
Right.
Right. Like
it's crazy how dead TV is.
Oh, dude, dead TV's so dead.
And coronavirus even like just made it way more. Like everyone got into YouTube and.
I just looked this up. The most popular cable TV shows are news shows. People are still going to like CNN and Fox News and stuff like that. And those opinion guys like are at the top of the ratings. And I think they poll during their
You're talking like segment. Jimmy Fallon and stuff, like Tonight shows?
No, that's mainstream TV. Okay. That's the networks. I'm talking about cable TV, right? Okay. Like CNN, Fox, they pull more viewers than any other cable news or cable TV shows. And they're polling like I think the most popular cable TV shows are polling like 700K viewers in their hour time slot, right?
That's good. That's pretty good. I mean, it's not crazy. I mean, it's not like a top YouTuber.
It's underwhelming.
Yeah,
it's underwhelming.
Definitely. Well, like I say when you compare it to 50, though, like
when people think about TV, they think about I don't know fucking why, and I think that's going to be a paradigm shift that happens within the next like 5 years, where like people are going to start because like people think that the end game for a YouTuber is to end up on TV or something like that, but it really isn't. It's almost the opposite. Where I know a lot of YouTubers that get offered TV deals and turn them down because it's not worth their time. You know what I'm saying?
I've been saying this for years. All right. If you're a YouTuber and then you go to the mainstream, right? You start going on Jimmy Fallon, you start going on Ellen or whatever, your career's over.
Really?
Like you're signing it in right there.
Why is that? Isn't that like what if it's like a cool just childhood thing that you want to fulfill? It'll solidify your name. It'll plant the seed of your name into the mainstream of that media, like cable TV and whatever. Because like entertainment is all about planting the seed, right? Like I have 100,000 followers on Twitter, but there's millions who know my name. You have like a few million, right? But at least 30 million, 20 million people know who you are. Like it's not just based off your fall and people have heard your name. So what is that problem with planting the seed? Because like they'll see KEEMSTAR on Ellen, and now when they hear KEEMSTAR again, they're gonna want to check, right? That retargeted advertising.
I disagree. Tyler Oakley, right? Went on Ellen.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Career over, right? Nade Shot. Right, or excuse me, not Nade Shot.
Nade Shot, career over, bro.
Ninja started going on all these different talk shows and stuff. Like he was running a huge media campaign for months and months and months. And the whole time we saw his career just go down, down, down. His YouTube views down, down, down. His stream numbers down, down, down. It's a direct correlation. When you go on the mainstream, the audience looks at you no longer as their friend or their buddy. You're
relatable.
You're now just an object, right?
That's a fair point right there.
If you want to be popular and have lots of viewers, stay away from the mainstream. That's my opinion.
That is an interesting take.
Yeah.
I mean, I would think you'd like I think the problem is that they probably didn't balance it well, but I would imagine that
that's what I was thinking too until he said
Lily Singh went and got her own talk show, right?
And
it's the first sexual, racial, female talk show host. Her show got canceled.
So let me ask you a question.
Channel gets no views.
There's something common with all three of those. And the thing in common with all three of those is that they were extremely, extremely liberal left, the furthest left, like Tyler Oakley was always, quick to call people names and shit and hateful, and Lily Singh was so quick to hit the bisexual, bi interracial, and Ninja even turned, super social
Blue hair.
justice. He always had colored hair. Is that the problem with it? Do people get sick of the of being told the same thing? The echo chamber of.
Well, I think you have to drink that extremely left Kool-Aid in order to get any respect from the mainstream, right?
Mm-hmm.
We just seen this huge New York Times article on what is his name? Hike. What is that streamer that his uncle owns the Young Turks or whatever?
Oh, I don't know who exactly you're talking about, but
I don't know.
Is it? It's not Hassan. No,
it's not Hassan. Yeah,
is it Hassan Abi?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we've seen he's getting all this mainstream love, and it's because he's just extremely far left, right? But eventually, you're going to see, all those types of people go down. But I think the mainstream is a curse. I think if he were to get a TV show or something, like I feel like he would just go down.
So I have a question. It's a little bit stray away from this mainstream curse, but kind of on a similar note. Industry plants.
Mm-hmm.
We've had Jake Sucky on our podcast. Jake Lucky. You have beef with him. You go back and forth. He's very loved in the esports scene. I'd say he probably took over like maybe a gap that Scarce left when he left, but even like a little bit different. You obviously know what he uploads. What is your problem with him? Because you are always coming at his neck and he's going back at you.
Slasher gets exposed for offering a girl a spot in an esports org to set him up on a date with her friend.
Right.
Classic sexual harassment. Like, imagine if you're in the workplace, right? And you go to another employee. If you hook me up with your friend, I'm going to give you a promotion. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like you can't do that, right?
Right.
So Jake Lucky covers the story. And when he's covering the story, he's like, what are we talking about? Slasher didn't do anything wrong. Like, what are we talking about? Right. And obviously he doesn't like FaZe and he loves Nade Shot. Right. So when he talks about, Nade Shot, or he talks about Optic, he's always like blowing them up. They can't do anything wrong. When he talks about FaZe, it's always, they're the worst people ever. Right. So I don't know. I just think Jake Sucky, Lucky, whatever his name is a super big fanboy to, Optic and to Nade Shot and 100 Thieves. And he just, you can't get him to be honest or real about any of these situations. Slasher and Jake Lucky, they will make videos on different gaming entertainers that get exposed for, doing something sexual with their fans or a breakup or whatever. But when somebody in their industry, when Slasher does it, it's like, he didn't do, what are we looking at? What are we talking about?
Right.
So it's just the phony shit like that I don't like him for. And why does he work for a company? Can somebody explain that?
We tried to talk to him about that too.
It just goes to show like that the kid is dumb, right? Like, why would he work for a company? He's literally uploading.
Well, they gave you the resources at first, right? They set him up with the resources, the salary to be able to do that. It was a job. Like, now could he go and make his own? For sure. But like, to say that why would he work for a company? Not everyone is fortunate enough to be able to make that without the, make a name for themselves without that support.
Yeah.
Hey, and so on a note on what you just said about him and how he is biased towards these people, I actually feel like you are that way with FaZe a bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're wearing the FaZe hat, you fuck with them, and I see, and I think actually specifically one time you tweeted about how somebody was like, oh, you're not being fair like you're not giving FaZe as much shit as they need to get for this, and that, and then you straight up said they are my friends. I am going to be biased. I'm pretty sure you tweeted something like that in the past. It was like right around the Tfue era. So like, how do you justify that after just saying that about Jake?
Well, here's some great clickbait for right or a nice
little Twitter
thing
clip. A little Twitter clip.
That
Set it
little
up.
Twitter clip.
This
Right?
will be the preview of the podcast.
Nice,
Go.
nice.
Yeah.
Oh, this better be good.
FaZe are my friends, and I'm always going to be biased towards them. Now, here's the challenge. Let's get Jake Lucky to say, I'm a super big fanboy of Optic. I'm a super big fanboy of Nade Shot. They're my childhood heroes, so I'm always going to get biased for them. You're not going to hear that ever, right? That's the difference between me and Jake Lucky.
Okay,
True.
so it's that you admit you're
get
biased.
acknowledged. You get acknowledged is
Right.
what you're saying. He doesn't is what you're saying. You actually have a relationship with these people where he doesn't is your point, correct?
No, my point is that he can't be honest that he has a bias.
Oh,
Right.
fair. Okay.
Okay. Fair point.
I mean, he should be out there saying like, look, man, me and Slasher are friends. I know he sexually harassed these women, right? And tried to use his position to, get a date.
Okay. So you're saying your problem with him is the fact that he's not being genuine with the picture he's painting. You get what I'm saying? Like to his audience, he's not being genuine as far as like, we are friends, therefore I am saying this. He's just saying objectively he didn't do anything wrong without associating the fact that they're friends.
He's just being dishonest with his audience.
Is it being dishonest, or is it that maybe he's like, maybe it's one? So I have a flaw that Edwin scolds me for all the time, and it's being too understanding. I have people the benefit of the doubt too much. I don't like care to attack people or like, if you did something like whatever, fuck off. I'm focused on my own shit. Like, yeah, could it be that he's, just he doesn't see it himself? Like, it doesn't necessarily have to be him doing it on purpose. Like, it could just be like you said. Like he's so into that idea.
Let me ask you another question. How many YouTubers do you see that do commentary like Jake Lucky, myself, or like YouTube commentators or Twitch streamers that just put their opinions out and they have more of like a talk show than anything, right? How many of them do you see that never have a controversial thought ever?
Right.
It's almost like, what is the audience saying? What is the majority of the people saying? Okay, that's my opinion. And they craft their opinion
100%.
so it fits the narrative of their viewers, right?
Okay.
I believe full-heartedly that Jake Lucky crafts his opinions and his narrative and his news based on what he thinks the audience wants to hear, the majority of the audience wants to hear.
Fair opinion to have.
Do you think KEEMSTAR has the same thing? No. No. I don't care if the entire world thinks a certain way. If I think different, I'm going to let everyone know.
But just like your bias and your drama is to entertain, what's wrong with the idea of him doing it to get the most viewers if it's not necessarily like harmful? I
mean, you asked me why I didn't like him.
Oh, no, that's fair. Yeah,
you didn't ask me
fair
what
point.
was wrong with him. That's why I don't like him, is because he's a fraud.
Fair. You feel like he's being disingenuine, and I also agree with the fact that there is something wrong with leveraging your position in any business to get any sort of personal benefit out of it, especially that, dude. I mean,
look, I've been
weird thing to defend is my point.
I've been in this game for 12 years. I've seen so many of the fake nice guys come and go, right?
They all go.
They all go. You don't last forever.
I have a question. We asked this to Jake as well. How can people trust you at parties? So obviously, Daniel Keem, the guy behind KEEMSTAR, is this cool guy that it seems like you enjoy partying, you enjoy getting along with people. Obviously, you get along with the FaZe boys. But how can people trust you when you're at these influencer parties where, people don't want to be recorded? Maybe you're not recording, but who's to say that you're not, like going to report on something where if they're doing, if one of them's smoking weed.
I've been doing Drama Alert since 2012. You're never going to find a case where I recorded somebody in private or I'm leaking private information. You know, I have a golden rule with everyone. Like, I ain't saying shit unless it's public. If it goes public, then it is fair game for me to report on. Right. So there's a classic example.
Let somebody $1 grand and have them expose it yourself.
No, that's scumbag shit. There's a classic example way back. This is going far back, maybe 2015. Scumpy and Ken's. Do you guys remember Scumpy and
they were
Ken's?
dating.
They were dating and they were fighting and then they broke up.
Right.
Well, I went to this esports event. I believe it was a UMG event, and Ken's and Scumpy were together, right? And they're at all the after parties and, you know, whatever. They're clearly back together, right? And the only reason why this is coming in my mind is because somebody made a video talking about this. They were like, Keemstar knew the entire weekend that they were back together, and he didn't report that they were back together until 2 weeks later when it hit the internet that they were back together.
Right.
Like, and the other thing is I have a relationship with so many of these people before even Dromler, right? So they know me as a YouTuber. They're not as like the drama guy, right? I think there's a huge difference because before I started Dromler, there was no drama channels. There were no T channels. There, like, none of this shit existed. So I built a relationship with many different YouTubers throughout the years. And, who has access to call like a James Charles on the phone or, hit up KSI and talk to him. Like, people don't have access. And the reason why I have access is because I respect people's privacy.
Fair game. I like that. That's especially when it's somebody like,
you see Dexturo, right? Like, trying their hardest to be Dromler, right? But when do you see Dexturo getting a fucking interview? Never.
Right.
They can't cross-reference facts at all. Access is important, and you only get access by treating people incredibly fair and not abusing trust.
When it comes to your interviews, and you get these people on that are being canceled currently or whatever it is onto your show, is that as soon as they're on there, it's fair game? There's no deleting anything. Like, if they say something in the pre-recorded interview and they go, I want that out, there's no, right? It's just,
well, I mean, it depends. Like, dude, there's a lot of interviews that I'll do with someone. They're coughing or they're stuttering, and it's just, the interview's just not good.
Well, I'm not talking about a shit interview. I'm talking about, like, if they said something and then
there was never
that's incriminating or something.
There was never a case on Dromler where someone was doing an interview. Yeah, I raped some kids. Oops, I slipped. Can we do this over again? Like, nothing like that has ever happened.
That's actually one of the.
That's a Twitter clip.
That's actually one of the cases that I was
no
thinking
context.
Of. Like, Romeo Lacoste, after he did his interview with you, was he not like, yo, can you remove some shit? Like, because he said the dumbest like.
I don't remember if he asked me to remove stuff, but in that scenario, like, what is my responsibility? Is my responsibility to Romeo to protect him, or is it to protect the community because there's a potential danger here?
Well, that's my point. So where does that? I guess they agreed to do the interview, so I mean, it's
yeah.
At that point.
I mean,
I'm just weighing the you know what I'm saying? I'm just seeing like what the.
When I get on a Discord or a phone call with someone, I'm not recording. Like, that's insane. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you record your interviews on Skype? Because before we started this podcast, by the way, everybody watching, this motherfucker didn't even have the Discord app downloaded. He uses web browser Discord.
Listen, people can roast me and call me a boomer for not using Discord, but the video and audio quality is much better on Skype.
There's no way you think that. Anyways.
No, that's like literally facts. Go hit up some experts, have them run some tests.
All right, fair point. I was just tossing up a little roast. Anyways, not that intense.
I mean, I get it. The kids think Discord's cool. They love it. But like, boomer Skype is better video and audio quality.
So Arab, do you have anything to go off on that? Because I have a tangent.
No, I was gonna go on a tangent as well. Go ahead, do your tangent.
So we're talking about liberal media, this and that, the left, the right. I want your opinion on the virus. I want to know what you think about it.
Damn, you're really trying to get me in trouble.
I want to know just what you think about it, unbiasedly, like just like we're having a friendly conversation.
I think discussions about coronavirus might be the basis of why Dr. Disrespect got banned.
Really? Whoa. That was...
Whoa, Slasher! Hello!
I don't give a fuck about the virus, bro. I need to know why the fuck he got banned, dude, and why we don't know yet. How is that not leaked?
This is my conspiracy theory, right? My conspiracy theory is that Dr. Disrespect was getting in conspiracy theories. He was mentioning conspiracy theories.
Oh no.
He was referring to these weirdos online with these crazy theories, right? And he was putting off all these hints like maybe you should check out that guy. Maybe you should see what this guy's saying, right? And I think what happened
Clinton got to him.
Is Twitch was like, this could be very bad for us.
You really think that's why? Because I do that all the time, bro. I tell people to look up shit all the time. Like fucked up shit too.
I don't know.
Like, yeah, like really. He tells people to look up like.
Did you guys notice that Dr. Disrespect was getting into like the conspiracy theory shit like towards the end of his Twitch career?
Yes. No, and specifically
I think that's
like
why he started doing it too.
That last clip he told people to look somebody up. Mm-hmm. He told people to look up like some dude, and like that dude had some correlation to the possibility of why he got banned and shit.
Now he's gone for a couple months, right? Dr. Disrespect comes back on YouTube. No conspiracy theory talk at all. None.
I've never heard this thought or perspective ever. And that is scary because I talk about this shit all the time.
12 years later.
That's fucking crazy.
Have you mentioned that publicly? Outside his podcast?
Maybe I did. Maybe I made a tweet about it. But so here's another thing, right? I'm wondering, right? And I haven't done the research, right? But imagine, right? Imagine if somebody goes back, finds all these Twitch streams with Dr. Disrespect, like saying, hey, that guy knows what he's talking about. Check out this guy, right? What if someone goes through the archives of these different people's like work and they find out that somehow they're like exposing, who's the guy that owns Amazon, right?
Jeff Bezos.
Jeff Bezos. What if this guy has a whole conspiracy on how Jeff Bezos...
Oh, he totally eats babies. Oh, for sure.
Yeah, or something like that.
Yeah,
and then Doc is referring, you know what I mean? And then the Twitch people are seeing this like, oh, this could be bad for Twitch. I don't know. Here's another thought, right? We all know that Dr. Disrespect, before he signed this, multi-million-dollar deal with Twitch, before he signed it, he kept making references like, oh, Mixer's offering me a lot of money. Mixer's offering millions and millions. Like he kept saying this publicly, right? And then he gets a Twitch deal for millions, and then Mixer goes down. And what was it, like a week later after Mixer goes down, Doc gets banned?
Yeah.
The whole leverage for Doc to even get millions of dollars from Twitch was that he could potentially be going to Mixer. And once Mixer's gone, Twitch is sitting there saying, we just got hustled for millions of dollars. I don't think so. In the contract, it says we can end this at any time by termination. Let's terminate him.
So they find a reason to ban him.
Bro,
they don't need a reason in the contract. The contract says they don't need a reason.
But you just basically said that you said he got banned for the conspiracy shit. Now you're saying he got banned because they didn't want to pay him.
Wait, I'm not saying. Oh, none of this is facts.
Whoa, yeah. Like he's just
throwing the idea.
Theories. Although I will say, the first conspiracy shit is interesting as fuck. The reality of the cash situation seems to be probably more of maybe what happened, you know what I'm saying? Because I could see that, he loses his leverage. They just spent a fuck ton of money on this dude, and they know that they'd be fine without him. I see the second part of it being probably closer to what actually happened. The conspiracy shit is crazy though. That shit is crazy.
And here's another wild take, right? What if Dr. Disrespect isn't lying? What if he really does not know why he's banned? Because if he doesn't know why he's banned, if that's true, it could be the conspiracy theory. No one would ever tell him, right? Why they banned him. It could be the Mixer thing. No one would ever tell him. How would he ever know why he was banned?
Is Twitch not obligated to let you know at all?
No, they're not obligated.
Could he sue them for an answer or no?
The contract says we can sue you for any reason.
It's actually so fucked. Like, how tired
Or we
are.
can ban you for any reason, excuse me, and terminate this contract for any reason. So yeah.
That's crazy.
That was wild.
I mean, and you know what's crazy? You know how good you are at this, Keem? You're so fucking good at this that you didn't even answer my fucking question. My original question about the goddamn virus. You just tiptoed right around that motherfucker, and I appreciate it. And you know, we can move on if you'd like, but it's still a good question if you want to answer.
Well, I mean, what are your thoughts on the virus?
I think it's been fucking exacerbated to an extent. I think that there are people that should worry about it, like the elderly and stuff. But dude, let me tell you this. I was at a fucking gas station the other day and I had a mask on and everything.
Are you Native American?
I get that a lot. I am. I'm Native Central American. I was born in Nika.
He's like 0.7% Cherokee Indian.
I was born in...
He does look Cherokee, though.
Yeah, right? You see the 0.7%, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was born in Nicaragua. Unfortunately, I don't have a casino. I can't get canceled for that. You can't cancel me.
Okay, continue.
It's a country. Anyways, so I think that it's been exacerbated. I think that older people definitely maybe have to worry about it in the same way that they have to worry about like a harsh flu. But I think that I don't really understand why the powers at bay are doing what they're doing, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying?
Well, listen, my personal thoughts on the whole coronavirus don't matter because I'm not a scientist. I'm not an expert. But let's look at the results of the coronavirus, right? Let's give the viewer some what do I want to say? Some leads to make their own crazy conspiracy theory. What has the coronavirus caused? It has caused the rich to get a lot richer and the poor to get a lot poorer.
A lot.
We are seeing the biggest shift of wealth in human history. like every single small business that just has random items in it, right? These Walmarts come in and they start closing, right? But when the pandemic comes, dude, Amazon just dominates, just completely takes over. All right. There's this little lady, she's got a shop and she sells like maybe some pies and, you know, different craftable items or whatever. And they're telling her she's got to shut down. But right down the street, Walmart's open, Costco's open. Right?
Churches too.
The corporations are all open. The little guys are getting stomped and the big guys are thriving. You know, it's just, you got to think to yourself, right? If hypothetically saying that this was all planned, right? You know, the people with influence, you know, the big guys, they have benefited the most.
Oh, absolutely. They've destroyed so many small businesses, man. It's ridiculous. My question is, why now and why like this? But it fucking worked, bro. Like I was telling you earlier, I was at a gas station the other day. I was wearing a mask, playing the whole gambit, and I'm talking to my chick, and I hear a mumbling right next to me. I look over, and there's a man, and he's looking at me. He goes, "How tall are you?" I'm like 6 foot. He goes, "Well, you should know how far apart 6 feet is then." And I was like, "Oh my god, I will fight you in the parking lot right now if you want." I was like, "That is the craziest sideways shit anyone has ever said to me because of this." Like what? Like we'd be fine if this shit wasn't an issue, but now this dude wants to fight me in the parking lot because I'm standing 4 feet exactly away from him, bro. I was like, what the fuck?
So theoretically, would you say that it was planted so that could happen if that theory that you had hypothetically said was true, or would you say that it happened and then they milked it?
I have no idea. I have no idea. I'm not going to pretend to know. You know, back in I want to say like June, I found this article, and it was from scientists over in Europe where they were saying that the coronavirus was man-made, and they proved it because of like a protein. And now I can't find that article. Like it's gone. I should have time.
You see did you see the
machine?
The coronavirus whistleblower leakers got arrested in China last week?
Yeah. There was this video on YouTube where this guy like kind of proved that the coronavirus came out of a Wuhan lab or whatever, and how he proved it was he was showing the what is it called, the Wayback Machine or something?
Yeah, the Internet Wayback Machine. Yeah.
Yeah, you can archive like how the internet looked at a certain time, and basically he was on the scientist website, and he was proving that in, I think it was October or November of 2019, that they were looking for scientists, and that they had pictures of all these different scientists that worked there, and two of them just disappeared off the thing, and they're technically missing these scientists, where his theory is, dude, they probably died, you know? And in the post where they were looking to hire new scientists after the two potentially died, they put in the post that they found a new strand of coronavirus, and they're looking for more scientists to come in that are experts in those fields to check it out. And now all that stuff has been completely wiped off that website. So I don't know. You know, you never know what to believe. Here's the most honest truth. Everybody is lying. Everybody is lying. Nobody knows shit. You know, like Fair. It's just that's the mainstream news is lying. The government is lying.
You know,
the conspiracy theorists are lying. The normal people are lying. Like, it's so hard to find base reality in anything.
See, here's the one thing though. Lies inherently are relatively harmless to an extent, but when it gets to a personal real, like it's real now, is the vaccine. Because like now these lies are turning into something that is going to have to enter my body, your body, the bodies of our loved ones potentially. Because like, holy fuck, I hope they don't make it to where like you have to get a vaccine and then you get like a QR code and that's the only way you can get into a fucking grocery store. Mentioned. Yeah, so it's like the thing is, I get it. You know, the shit that happened this year is fucked, but the vaccine is the one thing where I'm like, okay, that is kind of where the line is drawn in the sand for me personally, where it's like, okay, I you know, whatever is on CNN, whatever they're talking about the virus, you know, whatever, I'll stay inside to an extent. But that is where I feel like, and the other thing is like people are saying that you get Bell's palsy from it, and they were saying like these people were like test subjects in early vaccines, but then these pictures were from an old website that I saw, because there's like these pictures of these people that got the vaccine.
It's so hard for me to have an opinion on coronavirus at any angle of it, right? Because it's like there's just so many different opinions coming from the so-called experts. Do you guys remember early when this coronavirus came out that the experts like Dr. Fucci or whatever his name was coming out saying cloth mask will not work. That's not going to protect you in any way. Like you need an N95 mask, right? And then all of a sudden they were like, well, yeah, I guess the cloth mask will help. Like, wait, what? You're the top expert.
Right.
What? You know, it's just, that seems so strange and wild. Like, you know, that,
so
and 1911 or whatever, when we had the Spanish flu, they were wearing cloth masks back then, and they never beat the virus. Like they never had a vaccine or whatever. Like it just eventually, I believe, don't quote me on this because I don't know, but I think they ended up getting herd immunity.
Yeah, herd immunity. Yeah,
like generational.
At some point.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and hey, real quick, and that's another note where people are speculating that the reason they're trying to shove everyone in their houses is so that no one ever really gets that herd immunity that you would get, and they can keep pressing people to stay home, pressing people, they.
But to get the herd immunity, don't people need to like die? Isn't it like a natural selection?
Yeah. I mean,
thing?
you need to die, but you need to be in like groups of people. Like,
But-
it's kind of like the kid that rolls around in dirt
So that
is
point's
actually
like whack, isn't it?
healthier than the kid that doesn't.
I heard this podcast, right? And it was a great podcast. I can't remember what is the name of the podcast, but I was listening to it because it was interesting, and they were talking about coronavirus. And during that 1911 Spanish flu, they were putting all the victims and stuff that had the Spanish flu in tents, right? And they were just dying left and right. Like nothing they tried was. And so a couple of the patients were like, look, if I'm going to go, get me out of the tent, let me get some sunlight, if these are my last couple of days. So they started taking all these people outside, and for some reason they just stopped dying and they started healing, and they're like, wow, they couldn't figure it out. So during the coronavirus, right, when it first came out, there were, a couple of these people that were in charge of like taking care of the homeless people in the area, taking care of like the food banks and like, the food shelters where they would come in every day to get a free meal or whatever. And they were really concerned that their homeless population in these cities, and this is in America, I just forget which cities, they were really concerned that once coronavirus hit them, they're screwed because they're sleeping together in tent cities and all this stuff. And they're really worried. And for some reason, coronavirus is running rampant and these homeless people don't seem to be getting it. Like it wasn't making sense. So they finally get to the stage where they have testing, and they start testing the full homeless population in the city that's going to these food banks. And lo and behold, like 80% of them have coronavirus, but they never had any symptoms. And what they think is because these homeless people are outside all of the time, they're getting that vitamin B, right? And they're just surviving it. So imagine that, right? Imagine, facts like this coming out.
Like
that
natural
being
remedies,
outside, being active, getting that sunlight where it can then turn, the vitamin B to improve your immune system.
And it makes total sense because we're sitting inside, not seeing any sun. Like we're basically dying inside. Like we're not getting any of the natural.
No, think about this. When you are outside, you're blocking a big portion of your face from getting direct sunlight with a mask.
Oh, true.
And it's interesting that during, I think, the bubonic plague, or one of the plagues that happened in the past in history, they thought that by isolating the person in their home and shutting all the windows, that they would get better. That's what they thought. And same thing, they opened the windows, they started going outside, and people started like doing, better at least. Yeah. So it's interesting that like, you think like, you learn from history, etc. Dude, I just feel like there's definitely a piece to this puzzle that we don't understand for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Like as far as like, I
don't understand why the experts, all right, are so stupid. Like, you know what I mean? I would think that they would want people to get outside and get sunlight, like for the vitamin B. Like it just seems like a no-brainer.
Could it be?
They don't tell you to eat healthier either. They don't tell you to take better care of yourself. They tell you to wear a mask, but they don't.
My family takes vitamin C every day, vitamin B every day, vitamin D every day. But yeah, I think it's vitamin D. I think I was saying the wrong thing.
Yeah, honestly, I thought it was vitamin D, and I was like, Keemstar knows what he's talking about. Maybe everything I've learned is
I'm wrong. It's vitamin D. I was just saying the wrong fucking thing. But we take all these vitamins, but in order for vitamin D to kick in, like it can't, you're not getting it by just eating the vitamins. You then have to get sunlight to turn the vitamin B to go in your system and work the right way. I'm not an expert in this, but I know that taking a vitamin D supplement doesn't do shit unless you're getting sunlight. You need sunlight. And I thought, and I was wrong on this, that I could get the vitamin D through going to a tanning beds, but then I started doing research on that, and just
get a spray tan. Work. Spray tan works.
That even because for a while I was taking the vitamin D. I live in Buffalo, New York. We don't get a lot of sunlight here. I live in Buffalo, New York, so I was taking the vitamin D, and then I was going tanning, and then I started doing more research on that. I was like, I need actual sunlight. So what I try to do every day is I try to get outside for like at least 30 minutes in direct sunlight.
That makes a lot of sense too. My mom we all got coronavirus, right? The past 3 weeks, and my mom has the weakest immune system. She just got done with chemotherapy, but she also sits outside for like 5 hours a day, and none of us in the family do because we all work from indoor. And she got hit like the weakest, even though she was like expected to basically have the worst, you know? So
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, tossing up that idea. Let's stray away from the coronavirus. I actually want to do one little question about another conspiracy before we go back into some drama shit. Do you think, we've talked about all this, do you think that cancer has been cured?
Yep.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
I think it's been cured, and whoever has it has been either killed or put somewhere where they're trusted to give the cure to obviously the rich.
Or the patent has been bought for a lot of money.
I'm never gonna do anything for cancer research because my entire life they've been raising money for cancer research and there's no result. They have failed. They have just absolutely failed. And maybe they didn't fail. Maybe there's already a cure and it's just we're not getting it because there's so much money being made in
So much.
the remedies and the drugs for people that have cancer. And maybe that's dangerous for me to say that. But I would say to those people that disagree with me, I think it's dangerous for you not to question that.
It's definitely important to question things and look at the different perspectives that people come from, or what this could happen, etc. Like it's not harmful at all to just ask. Hear.
I find it nearly impossible that we don't have a cure for cancer. Like it's just insane. They're like every year billions and billions of dollars. Well, AIDS has been defeated. You didn't know that?
I mean, people still fucking struggle with that shit. The only person I know that defeated fucking AIDS is Magic Johnson due to his direct injection of $100,000 or whatever.
No, no. They have a cure. Like they
have a cure for AIDS. AIDS got cured.
Yeah.
And no one told me. Jesus. Where the fuck have I been?
Whatever drugs you can take for AIDS now. It like you don't die. Like if you get AIDS, I think you still have the virus and
you got to tell your partner. Right?
Yeah. You'll have the virus for the
you
rest
never
of your
told
life,
me.
but you don't die anymore. Yeah, AIDS has been like cured, like where you don't, if you get it, you don't die.
Shout out Magic Johnson. Bro, you said some real ominous shit today, and I appreciate it. This has been good so far, man. You're the fucking man for coming on.
Yeah, stop hyping him up. His career will die soon.
No, listen, man. Listen, from the interactions that you have with people online, I have to say having a conversation with you is not as what's the word? Stressful as I thought it was going to be.
Well, I mean,
so
at the end of the day, I am a human, right?
That's a good point. That's perfect actually right now. Daniel Keem.
Mm-hmm.
We know a little bit about your past on how you made it. There's conspiracies that you had a game. I mean, not conspiracies, just like theories. You created a game, I think, and sold it. Maybe have like you're rich outside of Drama Alert. The idea that you've built businesses for yourself and you're a businessman. You also faked a law degree to get your first job or something like that. Can you lead us through that? Is it public info what you've done with the gaming stuff before you? Like
you broke up a little bit. What's the question?
Is it public info or can you make it public info? Like elaborate on what you did before you got into Drama Alert, because you have these projects that you've set yourself up for residual income, but I feel like nobody's ever really heard that side.
Well, I mean, I tried to get a job at a law firm, and you needed a college degree in order to get that job. So I went home and printed up a degree and then applied for the job and got it.
Okay, and that was
It's the American dream, baby. Hey, free college. Good shit.
but there
I
is
mean,
there is another project that you worked on, is there not? So you created some game.
so how should I start on how I started
Yeah.
YouTube?
Yeah.
Okay. So I worked at the attorney's office for like 7. I mean, eventually they found out that I lied on my application and stuff, but they didn't like obviously fire me because I was making more money for the office than everyone else there that had college degrees. Basically, what I was doing was legal collections, and I was really good at it. So if
So
like
you
you
subpoena
had
people? Sorry.
yeah. So let's say that you don't pay your credit card bill and MasterCard sues you and they get a judgment against you. It would be my job at the law firm.
Oh my God, you've always been a dickhead.
To find your money and make you pay your goddamn bill, right? So that's kind of what I did, and I was really, really good at that. And at the same time, I was DJing weddings, right? So I was killing it, bro. I was making so much goddamn money in my early 20s, right out of high school. I was making like 70K a year, dude. I was just crushing it. All of a sudden, one of my passions is Halo 3. And I fell in love with Halo 3 because the minute I went on there, people were calling me racist slurs, being homophobic, saying the most awful stuff. And I got addicted to like talking shit to people.
It was fun.
Right?
It was fun. We've been there.
Fun.
It was fun.
So 1 month at the attorney's office, I got this huge bonus check and I took everybody in the office out. We got wasted, right? And I get home after having some drinks and I'm on Halo 3 and I'm just talking all this crazy shit, dude. I told this one dude, I was like, I'm going to get your grandmother, bend her over my knee, shave her ass hair, roll it up in a blunt and make you smoke it, right? I was saying awful things on Halo 3.
Right.
And, I go to work the next day, I get home and I get on Xbox and my messages on Xbox Live are just filled with like 300 new messages. I'm like, what is this, right? What is going on? And the messages are like, saw you on YouTube. You're the funniest guy alive. I'm like, I'm on YouTube? What the? There was this guy in my game called Duranker, and he was recording me, and I had no idea. I didn't record gameplay, and he put it up on YouTube. So they asked me if I wanted to, make trolling videos with them or whatnot. I was like, yeah, this seems like fun, right? So I started doing that. And I had all these characters where I was like Sparkles the gay rapper and I would prank people and troll them. And I started a YouTube career. And within 3 months, I grew my channel to a brand new channel. I grew it to like 20,000 subs, which back in 2009 was like
nuts.
Yeah, that's
huge,
a lot.
right?
That's huge. Yeah.
I get this message in my inbox from Machinima offering me to be a freaking director. I'm like, what the? I made it, bro. Like, what is this, dude? And so then as we're doing these pranks and trolls, we start getting, back then the quote was fake and gay on the internet, right? Like you'd upload a video and all the comments would be fake and gay, fake and gay, fake and gay, fake and gay, right? It was like
acronym is
the meme back in 2009.
It's FAG, obviously, right?
And I'm like, this is like, it started with Ray William Johnson. Like this was mainstream. Fake and gay was like super mainstream.
It wasn't
everywhere.
meant for the acronym though?
No, it had nothing to do with, it had nothing to do with FAG. It was like literally everybody said it. You know how everybody calls each other simps?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
like a cultural thing. Yeah.
Yeah. If you went on a YouTube video, no matter what it was in 2009, the top comment would be fake and gay.
Okay.
Anyhow, so I took it personal and I was like, I'm going to show all of these motherfuckers, right? I am this goddamn good. These pranks are real. So I started live streaming on Blog TV with my hands up. I started live streaming on Blog
live
TV.
TV with my hands up. Yeah, okay.
And, there were some big guys over there. You had Shaytards, you had iJustine, you had Philip DeFranco. I mean, all these people were on Blog TV. Bro, my gaming show was killing it, dude. I had like 2,000 viewers every night. And back in 2009, 2010.
Oh my God.
That was like.
Oh, that's nuts. That's fucking insane.
That was like PewDiePie, right?
Yeah.
And so we're doing these live pranks and stuff, and we're doing them live, and just FAG starts blowing up. That was the name of my group back then. And the reason why we picked that name is because everyone, when you logged on to Xbox, would call you that derogatory term. So we decided to call our group that, right? Anyhow, it's wildly successful. But then Microsoft, they come in and they start banning my consoles. They were trying to crack down on this trolling stuff because I was going viral. Like, some of my pranks were on the front page of YouTube, getting millions of views in 2010. Okay. So in the summer of 2010, Microsoft declares war on me. And the Xbox mods start going to every single live stream, bricking my Xboxes. So I would take a brand new Xbox that I bought from GameStop, return the bricked one, get a new one, do a live stream that lasts about 15 minutes until they brick that one. And it was just like this war. And I was getting shut down from Microsoft, and there was nothing I could do. And at the time that all this was going on, this game started blowing up, right? There was this stupid little indie game. All right. And it was a PC game, but all these COD commentators, which was the biggest thing back then, were playing it. And it was a game called Minecraft.
Ooh.
So
God.
You had this audience, right, that own a PlayStation or own an Xbox, and they're watching videos of their favorite COD commentator play a PC game that they don't have access to called Minecraft. So around this time where I don't know what I'm going to do in my career, the trolling stuff is like getting shut down.
How old are you at this time?
It was like right before I was 30. So I had to have been like 28, 29. Right around this time that I'm just kind of lost in my career and I don't know what I'm going to do after I had all this wild success. I stumble across this guy who is making a Minecraft clone, but he's making it to be on Xbox Live. And I'm like, oh my God, this is going to be a major success, right? The guy's video has 3 views on it on YouTube, and it's the trailer of his game that he's working on. And I'm like, dude, I have an audience of 200,000 people. I go, I have a loyal audience and live stream. Like, I can make this game super popular. And Microsoft has been trying to ruin my career. This game's coming out on Xbox. I'm going to make Microsoft pay me millions of fucking dollars. Like, everything, all the stars lined up for this one moment for me to get revenge and be rich, filthy rich. So I reached out to the developer and I said, listen, I want 50% of this game. Give me 50% of this game. I'll blow this game up. I have this huge fan base. He was not buying it. I said, okay, listen, fine. For the next 24 hours, I'm going to work for you for absolutely free. You don't owe me anything, but you're going to see my power, my influence, and then we're going to make a deal. And he goes, all right, we'll see. Go ahead, do whatever. So I get on a live stream with like 2,000 viewers. And I tell my viewers, listen, this game is coming out. I'm trying to get a deal with them. I got to get every gaming news site to talk about this. So me and my fans together start spamming all the gaming reporters on Twitter. Like, do you know about this Minecraft that's coming out on Xbox Live? And dude, within 24 hours, every major gaming news outlet ran a story on it. The thing blew up. It was absolutely huge. The developer went from like 50 followers on Twitter to 5,000. Forums were being made about this Fortress Craft game and everything. Dude, it was huge. So I get on the phone with him and I'm like, dude, let's make a deal. You've seen what I can do. He ends up giving me 30% of the company, right? So there's this huge, long, waiting period for the game to actually be released, but I'm promoting it nonstop throughout this period where the trolling stuff is just dying, right? And I have no career left by the time this game comes out. And the game ends up selling 2 million copies.
Holy.
And I go
at $60?
At no, it was a $3 game.
Okay.
Right. So I did very, very, or $3 game. I think it was a $5 game. It's a $5 game. I can't remember. All right. But it came out on Xbox and it was wildly successful. And so, yeah, so then I just had a stack of money, but no YouTube career. And so I was doing a podcast.
How much did you make off that? Do you mind saying, or
A lot.
like in the millions?
I mean, you can do the math. It's 5 times 2 million times.
Well,
like,
no, because there's
take 30% of
no,
that.
because he loses shit, and then there's royalties of
Well,
Microsoft.
Microsoft takes 30%. Anyhow, I made a lot, right? And so right at this time around like 2012, when I eventually got paid, like one of the first things I did was, I bought a house, I bought a car, I bought Bitcoin at $7.50, held that for a while. I started investing in games, started investing in game companies, invested in the stock market, creating other businesses that weren't attached to KEEMSTAR, so like people wouldn't know about them. I did probably about 1 million different things, because the only thing that I really needed to survive was a house and a nice car, right? Everything else is like, let's multiply the money, right? And so from the years of 2012 to like 2016, this is before Dromler, around 2012 to, I would say, like 2014, before Dromler started taking off, like I made a lot of money. I multiplied that money I made from Fortress Craft over and over again. And then my friend, who is just a complete disaster, in present day, only used me Blade. But my friend at the time, we had a podcast together called the Bad Kid Cast. And he moved to Buffalo so we could do that podcast. And we started getting addicted to this show, and it was called Newsroom, and it was on HBO, and it was so good. And it was just basically a newsroom, right? And so I got so into this show that I felt like a news guy, and I would go on Twitter, and when there would be fighting, I would like pretend that I'm a reporter and shit. And someone said, you need to make a hashtag. And I was like, hashtag Dromler, right? And then, eventually that became very successful on Twitter. And, I ended up getting a lot of followers and people liked it. And I was like, why don't I just make a video talking about drama? And like, so the first video I uploaded got 100,000 views on a brand new channel.
Fucking
and then
wild.
I was like,
Holy shit.
I knew I was onto something, right? And I launched Dromler, and the rest is history.
That is the fucking story that I wanted.
That was beautiful.
I have always wondered what the fuck game that you worked on. And I feel like it's not even, like, nobody really knows. And it's crazy, like, how much you invest and how smart you actually are when it comes to... You do Drama Alert for fun, don't you?
I have made way more money outside of Dromler than I have with Dromler, yeah.
It's fucking crazy. Like, the people don't... As much as you can hate somebody, you have to respect the level of work ethic and intelligence that comes in that entrepreneurship. And
well, Dromler is, some people don't like it and they hate me, but like it is the biggest drama channel in the world, right? Or news channel, however you want to say it, entertainment gossip channel in the world.
How do you gauge that?
Subscribers, viewership. Like right now my YouTube views are down. Like I'm pulling like 1 million views a video, and
oh my god, so bad.
The one I uploaded yesterday is like way down. But like what people don't understand is like I'm not just on YouTube, I'm on Snapchat, and those pull 3 to 5 million views on Snapchat as well.
Oh, you have a Snapchat show?
Oh yeah, Dromler's on Snapchat.
Really? Yeah. I haven't used that app in like 5 years. I fucking hate it.
Yeah. I feel like you kind of get shit on YouTube too. Like YouTube like fucks you sometimes. Like people don't get you in their sub box. Like you get demonetized and shit, right? Like,
I mean, when I look at like my entire life, like it just seems like everybody is out to shut me down and stop me, right? But that turns into the fuel to find success, right? If everything in life comes easy, I think that life would be pretty boring, right? And I don't think you would do anything in your life extraordinary.
Does it not hurt knowing that people are willing to backstab you. Like, I couldn't imagine Edwin. I would never imagine him backstabbing me, and you know what I'm saying? But like, you had people who you had helped create their careers and push, people like Leafy, Grade, and all of a sudden, you know, 3-4 years ago, they come out with these absolute like insane videos about you that, you know, were filled with whether it be lies or partial truths or just trying to ruin your image. Is that the idea that you can't trust people? Does that
I mean, that really hurt, right? These were my friends. But you know, I was able, there's something about me that like needs bad shit to happen to me. like I welcome bad shit to happen to me because it draws some survival mechanism out of me, and I produce my best work, and you know, I become my best when I'm threatened. So I don't know. Maybe that's why I'm constantly starting shit with people, is because I want to be canceled, so I have a reason to survive.
that's fair and that's okay. Like that
I
happens
mean,
because you're
when you
clearly good at
find-
it. You haven't been canceled yet, and you know, you handle it fucking insane for, like we said at the beginning, for how much hate you actually get. Like I know I have haters, but I know that no matter how big I get, there will never be the same amount of hate that you have. It's absurd.
Well, there's a lot of good guys, right? How many bad guys, successful bad guys, are there on YouTube?
You.
Not a lot. Not ones that last the test of time. You've been around for fucking a long time, bro. Which is like, you know, because like I feel like relevancy on YouTube is real up and down. You capture it for a while and then it goes away, and then there's like a new wave of people. But you fucking, dude, I don't want to make this analogy and like sound weird, but it popped in my head, so I have to say it. The only person I can think of that has been around in an industry and dominating it in their niche or what they do for as long as you have is fucking Drake. You know what I'm saying? Like, Drake's been the top of the music industry for fucking a decade. You've been the top of YouTube for fucking almost as long, if not as long.
It must be God's plan.
Oh my God. Oh my
God.
That was good. That was good.
Nah, I don't know. If you look back at my old Drumler videos, you know, they're trash. They're not as good. Like, I didn't really develop the KEEMSTAR news reporter persona that well. And I would say to anybody listening to this trying to get into being a YouTuber and uploading content and failing, you know, it just there's no such thing as you're going to upload a video and you're good. You know, you're not. Like, you have to do this type of stuff for a very long time to like get really, really good at it.
That's why I hate the word cringe.
I have been insanely lucky. Like, me being in that Halo call, right? Like, what are the chances of that? Or I'm in that Halo game and someone's recording me and puts it on. I wasn't even trying to be a YouTuber and this shit happened, right? You know, the Fortress Craft thing, like, my career was done and over with. If I didn't have that money, I would not have survived, right? That money made it so I didn't have to go out and get a real job, and it allowed me to like mess around and do this drama art stuff. You know, a lot of it is luck, and a lot of it is, you know, just working your ass off and getting your skill up there.
I have a question, going back, and then we can come back actually to this. But when with Fortress Craft, you said you were getting banned all the time on fucking Microsoft. Did they stop banning you once you had stopped playing Halo and like doing that shit? Like, how'd you get past that to even?
I mean, they stopped banning me when I stopped doing trolling videos.
Okay. So they let you off the hook. It wasn't like a vendetta. Yeah. You're banned forever. It's just like fuck off on this shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Did it? So I asked you about, you know, Grade and everybody backstabbing you and how you dealt with that, and obviously you said it hurt. Does it feel good that all their channels are dead, basically, and that you've survived and overcome that, even though so many of these people like ganged up on you? or is it like I
Does
wish
it
we could have
feel
done it?
good?
Is it I wish we could have done
mean-
it together? Because you guys were close. Like,
I mean, I still try to motivate Leafy to make content, Gray to make content. Everyone around me, I try to motivate and be successful on YouTube.
even after they did these, how do you get to that point?
I forgave them.
Okay.
I forgave them.
Bro, I just saw that Leafy got fucking another channel banned. Like he got somebody else's YouTube channel that he was supposed to be like a part of or work with. He got their shit banned just by association, which cracked me up too. Bro,
He got hired by this company called Red Bloom, and then he uploaded a video on the Red Bloom channel and got banned. And his name on that channel was called Weefy, right? So they banned Leafy's channel, and then they verified a fake Leafy channel called Weefy. So someone at YouTube has a vendetta against him. Like, what are the chances that they're going to ban him and then verify a fake account? Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't make sense.
So they verified his fake account to verify that it is him to then ban him is what happened?
No. There's kids that are making fake Leafy accounts to just get free subs. They verified an imposter channel.
That's
It's
so
crazy
funny.
how on
That's
top
so
of YouTube Leafy was, like, back in the day.
Yeah.
5 million views a video on fucking CSGO surfing every day. Like, holy fuck, he made so much money.
What's insane to think about is that when Leafy's channel got banned, what people don't realize is that is the biggest YouTube channel to ever be banned. He had like 6 million subs, I think. Like, name another channel that had like 6 million subs that got banned.
I can't.
Yeah.
I have a conspiracy about Leafy, and don't quote me on this. This is all theoretical because I don't want to get killed. But I think Leafy runs Daily Dose of Internet. If you compare their voices,
oh my god, you're kind of right.
Yeah, I'm right. He's done a face reveal, but it's not real. It's totally a fucking fake. And Keem probably even knows that he runs Daily Dose of Internet.
I don't even know what Daily Dose of Internet is.
Open any one of his videos right now and just listen to his voice.
So going back to the people that
let him hear 1 second.
Oh, yeah, sure.
That guy does kind of sound like him.
Yeah. Yes. Hey, what's up, guys? Leafy here, back with another Daily Dose of Internet.
That would be absolutely hilarious if it was.
Okay.
He's like the good twin. Like Leafy was the bad twin, he was the good twin. But I was gonna go back to the people we were mentioning, like Grade A, Under A, and all these people that you're homies with and stuff. You know what I think is interesting? That I feel like I've seen groups of people try coming at your neck, and it never ends well for them, to the point where I feel like as soon as they do that, they kind of spiral into irrelevancy.
Right?
If that makes sense.
How does that?
And you know who your most recent victim is? Personally, at least in my life, because he used to pop up my shit all the time. I used to watch his shit all the time. Like, me and my friends used to watch his shit all the time. And then all of a sudden, you guys started talking shit to each other, and then he just disappeared from all of my shit. And that's H3H3. How the fuck is that going, bro?
Yep. Well, the fake good guys, right? They have to take off their mask, and they have to lower themselves to KEEMSTAR, right? To battle it out, right? And their claim is KEEMSTAR is a bad guy. And KEEMSTAR's response is, I am a bad guy, but so are you. This is what you did. You're a hypocrite. And now this guy says that KEEMSTAR is bad, but the audience knows that he does the same thing, so they fall. But KEEMSTAR always had fans knowing that he was the bad guy the entire time.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's fair. And I feel like the more and this might be what ended up having him get kicked out of my recommended and stuff, which was when I first watched H3H3 was the Vape Nash video. That was the first video I ever watched, because Jack Savage, Turner's brother, he showed it to me and he thought it was funny.
It was so good. He was
it was fun at the time, and I feel like that content was kind of his strong suit. And then he kind of got into like this weird like drama shit where he started talking
very left political. Like we said, Dude, it's not that it's it's not that it's bad ideology. It's a very caring ideology. But once you start forcing these hateful like terms against people that support you that might not agree with you, and you start calling them racist or unfollow me when you do if you support this, like never in my head have I ever thought, okay, if you believe a different fucking political belief or religious belief, like fuck off. Like you are a product of where you are brought up from, and how you're raised and how your parents, like the African warlord kid who's fucking handed an AK at age 6, like he doesn't know better. He doesn't. He doesn't know better. There's the kid that's fucking raised in a suburban household. He's raised differently. Like, so it's like once you start, and that's what he started doing. He stopped making the content and he started creating pure like
Commentary,
political,
like,
hateful.
yeah.
If you don't agree with me, fuck off.
Well, here's the thing too, where I feel like what you were saying, like the good guys don't last. When I was introduced to H3H3 and the content that I watched after that for like the next month, it was him being a good guy. It was him and Ela and the positive relationship, funny this, funny that. And then I think when shit started going downhill for them, or at least in my mind, when I stopped finding it entertaining, was when they had a bunch of issues with like lawyers or something. They got like sued for a fuck ton of money or something.
Yeah,
and then
that was good for YouTube though. Like they handled it.
But that's when it started being funny. It started being like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right, what's your question?
Let me ask you a question, right? When there's some type of drama going on, right? You're gonna see me, unless it's like if it's some pedo stuff, I'm gonna take it serious. If it's serious, I'm gonna take it serious. But most trauma is not serious. Like it's ridiculous, and you're gonna see me cracking jokes and laughing at how people are acting or whatever. But you're gonna see H3H3 literally turn into a Karen and just start preaching. And you know what I mean? It's like, I don't get it. You're a comedian, right? You're a comedian.
That's what he was good at.
A lot of times H3H3 will see a joke online and he'll criticize the joke and be offended. And it's like, dude, you're literally anti-comedy. Like, it's just like, who is this person? Right? You presented yourself online as this guy that making all these goofs and being funny, and then
goofs and gaffes. Like that's
you're a Karen. You're a Karen, and that's just kind of what it's come down to.
Yeah, I think if go ahead.
I used to be really into him. Like for the first 3-4 years of his channel, I was this fucking super fan, and then whether it be I grew or he changed or a mix of both, and I started focusing on my own shit, stopped watching him. But now it's like I can't even watch.
He can't take criticism. Like he really cannot take criticism. It's like a huge problem of his, and he criticizes, and that's what he does for a living is he criticizes people. So I don't know.
Did you have a point, Edwin?
I was gonna say I just think that when you have a stance to make on an issue, it's like, I was always raised to pick your battles and win the war, right? And I feel like when you pick a battle with every little thing that you don't necessarily have to have a voice or opinion. Like you were saying, he scrolls through his timeline, he finds something to be offended about, and publicly acknowledges the fact that it offended him or whatever. It's almost like, why'd you even take the time to do that? You know what I'm saying? Who are you communicating this emotion, this negative emotion to, and what do you see coming from it? Like a positive where you want more people to get offended by it and agree with your point? Or do you understand what I'm saying? Like there's no point.
This is my position for the beginning of time with Ethan Klein. He's just not a good dude. He's not a good guy. He's a very vengeful, spiteful he's fake. Like he had me on his podcast. I think it was 2017, early 2017 or late 2016. He had me on his podcast, and everything was good. We were fine in real life.
Good podcast.
And then he puts up,
Good podcast that I watched it. It was a good one.
He uploads it, and then he started getting some hate for having me on because I'm a controversial figure. And then he starts bowing down to the audience and says, "Yeah, I know some of you hate KEEMSTAR. We hate KEEMSTAR too." And I'm like, I was just there. Why didn't you say that to my face? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
why were you acting all friendly with me? So it's just shit like that, you know, obviously, like.
But you
his
guys were
whole
friends before
podcast-
that too, right? Like you had DM'd and you guys like had given
Not
advice to each
friends,
other.
but you know,
Like
friends
acquaintances in
online
the scene. Yeah.
friends online are different than friends, like, you know, in real life. But like, we were friendly. We spoke to each other and we're friendly. But here's another example, like PewDiePie, right? PewDiePie launched the H3H3 podcast. He was the biggest guest. He was the second guest on the thing. Like PewDiePie going on H3H3's podcast took that podcast into the stratosphere. Couple months later, PewDiePie gets canceled for dropping the N-word while playing PUBG, and Ethan just backstabs him and starts shitting on his friend. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
And it's like, you know, people bitch at me like saying, "Oh, you're biased and they're your friend," and da da. Like, you got to try to help your friends out a little bit, you know? Like,
Right.
Yeah.
you can't.
I agree.
And you can't be sitting there saying PewDiePie is this horrible racist guy and all this other shit when like H3H3 just a couple months ago had iDubbbz on and was saying the N-word freely, right? Like,
Right.
it's just like, so the guy legitimately has caused his entire audience to not trust him. And because of that, like, they're unsubbing and he's losing sponsors. And it is what it is. You know, Ethan is his own worst enemy. And that's all there is to it.
So on the fact of losing sponsors, he somehow managed, after all these years of people trying to get you to lose your sponsors, he somehow managed to get G Fuel removed from you. How?
Yeah.
How did he pull that off? What did that? KEEMSTAR was the fucking representative of G Fuel, bro. Code Keem, every fucking drama alert video you had that shit on.
I sold more G Fuel than a lot of people much bigger than me. But look, at the end of the day, G Fuel was in a tough spot because they're moving, like, the cans are in the stores and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're in fucking micro centers and gas stations, and
the cans were just like, all these deals were being made for distribution, and you know, H3H3 sent a tidal wave of people to go hate on G Fuel for no reason whatsoever. So, you know, G Fuel was in a tough spot. Like, you know, it just is what it is.
do you hold that over their head and like say, yo, I've had your back for this long to G Fuel and you didn't have my back? Or is it like, let me back out?
I feel like G Fuel made the wrong decision because look at H3H3's losing subs. I'm gaining subs, right? I didn't just survive this attack by H3H3. I thrive.
Right.
So I feel like in that sense, they made the wrong call. But you know, it is what it is. You know, they were in a tough spot. So, but guys,
one last question before you go.
I need to make some trades, bro.
You have to, bro. One last question. I'll make it quick. We ask this on every podcast, and I have to ask you it. One day, surgeries are going to get so good, Keem. This is the Brand Risk Podcast question. Took a little inspiration from Andrew Schultz. One day, surgeries are going to get so good, you're not going to be able to tell the difference. Okay, so like, let's say the hottest woman you know. Like, who's the hottest woman you know? Name me. It.
I don't know.
Like,
but a hot woman.
Yeah, a hot woman. Okay, or like a hot dude, like Chris Evans. You know, like Hugh Jackman. You like Wolverine or some shit.
Okay.
Everything is the same about them, Keem. Everything is the same about them except they have the opposite body part. So the hottest woman you know, everything is the same. She's got a dick. Or the hottest dude, but he's got a vagina. You got to go down on one to save your fucking family. Who are you going down on?
I mean, my family is so important to me. It really doesn't matter. Like, I wouldn't.
But you got to pick one. Like, who are you choosing? I will tell you, every single person that's from New York has picked the vagina. And almost everybody else.
That seems like the go-to.
Is it? Are you going down on fucking Wolverine? Like, is that the wave? Or is it better to go down on fucking Alexandra Daddario with a dick?
You would have to just focus on the genitals, I would assume.
But yeah. Oh yeah, KEEMSTAR is so good. Like, you know,
the vagina is a pretty natural place to be. You know, the dick, no.
All right, we got his answer,
Sure.
the New York
He's-
answer.
Hey,
Keem,
that was the typical New York answer.
Keem,
for sure.
thank you so much for coming on the podcast, bro. Appreciate you being here. That was fucking sick.
Yeah, that was
Switching to
dope.
this. Guys, if you made it to the end, appreciate you being here. We do have a podcast on Spotify. This is on Spotify always. And, we've had plenty of other big guests. Tfue, Joey Salads, I guess you guys would know in this scene. A lot of other guests, even Conrem, which, KEEMSTAR recently talked about. So, if you guys want to check that out, feel free to check out the podcast. We do these once a week and cover stuff like esports, gaming, people in the entertainment scene as well. That was fucking sick.
Yeah, that was sick. This is the part of the podcast where it'd be like, yo, Keem, shout out your stuff. Where can people find you? This and that. But he fucking left.
He
He just
fucking-
dipped. Yeah,
and I
it is
get
what it is.
He gave us fucking 2 hours of his time.
Yeah,
fucking sick.
way more than I had thought was. This was cool. This was a great
cool.
podcast.
What a way to end 2020, bro. Today's the 29th. What a way to fucking end 2020. This will probably be out at the beginning of the year. Thank you guys.
Hey, no, real quick. Let me give a quick motherfucking shout out to my man Arab. The only reason Keemstar was here was because of him and him being active on Twitter, bro. So while I was fucking asleep this morning, you hooked us one of our best podcasts ever. So
I got a DM from my boy Ash, one of my active viewers, and he said go respond. So I responded.
Hey, and listen, if you make it this far in the podcast, like you really fuck with us. And let me say this.
How have
For
you not
everyone-
subscribed yet?
Yeah, what the fuck? First of all, and second of all, everyone coming to chat in the comments saying like, why does Arab open every single podcast? It's because he's better at it, and I know that, and he deserves it.
No, but you killed it.
You do
today.
a great job.
You killed it.
No, but
today.
you did. No, you killed it.
I'm gonna make out with you tonight because I'm actually coming to Florida. We'll see you guys later. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe, follow, drop a like. Check out the socials, boys. See you later. Peace.
Peace.